Welcome to RWG Publishing. Today, we're diving deep into, well, a brand new world.
A brand new world with the last Enchanter it is.
It's a captivating fantasy novel.
By Felix Northwood.
Oh, I love a good fantasy epic.
Well, then get ready, because this one will transport you to Eldoria.
Eldoria.
A land where magic is fading.
Oh, like disappearing.
Altogether, yeah.
That's quite the premise.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of those classic fantasy tales where magic is like the lifeblood, you know?
Exactly. And Felix Northwood, he does such an amazing job contrasting Eldoria's past.
With its present.
Yeah. He paints a picture of these bustling cities all lit by enchanted lights.
Wow.
Forests teeming with magical creatures.
A world vibrant with magic.
Exact.
And now it's fading. That's a powerful image.
It is. And this contrast, it's not just for dramatic effect. It establishes the stakes right from the prologue, where we meet a dying Enchanter, yeah, who is entrusting his young apprentice Alara with a perilous quest.
To restore the magic.
Yeah, you immediately understand, like, the urgency, the weight of her responsibility.
Sounds like a classic hero's journey.
It is.
Tell me about Alara. What kind of character is she?
Well, she's not your typical brooding chosen one, you know?
Right.
In Chapter 1, we meet her in the village of Eldenwood. And she's beloved by all the villagers.
No.
She uses her magic for small acts of kindness, healing the sick, mending tools, even like helping flowers bloom.
Those are great details.
It makes her so relatable.
Yeah. It's like she's already a hero.
In her own community.
Before being thrust into this grand quest.
Right.
And then...
Well, then she receives her mentor's final warning. Beware the shadows.
Ooh, spooky.
Something sinister is brewing.
And her idyllic life is about to change.
Forever.
So what happens? Does she just set off on this quest?
Not quite. First, Felix Northwood, he builds suspense. By introducing these subtle disturbances in Eldenwood, animals start behaving strangely, the well runs dry.
Oh.
There's this dark energy seeping into the village.
It's like that feeling of unease.
Exactly.
Where you know something is wrong.
But you can't put your finger on it.
Yeah.
And that feeling, it intensifies as Alara decides to journey to meet with the magical council. But this journey, it's far from easy. The paths, once easily traversed with magic, are now overgrown, treacherous.
A physical manifestation.
Yeah, of the fading magic.
Clever. So the journey itself is like a reflection.
Of the world's decay.
Wow.
And as Alara travels, she's haunted by her mentor's warning and this growing sense that she's the only one
who can save her world.
A classic call to adventure.
With real danger.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. If you're already captivated by this world of fading magic, prophecies, and a young hero facing the unknown, well, you can dive into The Last Enchanter yourself.
It's available now on Amazon Kindle.
We'll be sure to include a link in the show notes.
So you can grab your copy.
All right, so Alara has finally reached the magical council.
She has.
What do they have to say? What secrets will they reveal?
Well, they unveil this ancient prophecy.
About
the last Enchanter, the only one who can restore magic to Eldoria, a prophecy laden with destiny and danger. And it points directly to Alara.
Of course, she's the chosen one. But how is she supposed to restore the magic? What does the prophecy say?
Well, the prophecy says she needs to find ancient relics scattered across the land.
Oh, like a treasure hunt.
Yes, these relics hold the key.
To restoring the magic.
Exactly.
With the fate of the world hanging in the balance.
A treasure hunt with the fate of the world hanging in the balance.
I love it. But I have a feeling it won't be easy.
It won't.
What kind of challenges will she face?
Plenty. But one of the most interesting aspects of this quest is that Alara is not alone. Along her journey, she encounters Kale, a skilled warrior, also hunting the encroaching darkness.
They team up.
They start off wary of each other.
A reluctant partnership. I love it.
But they soon discover that they share a common enemy.
And their paths converge.
Even further when they uncover an ancient scroll together. And this scroll, it confirms the prophecy, but it also reveals the locations of the hidden relics.
So now they're working together. Yeah. Two heroes facing down a world of darkness.
It's a classic team up. But Felix Northwood, he adds depth to their relationship by giving them complementary skills.
Oh, like what?
Alara has her magic.
Right.
And Kale brings his combat prowess.
Okay.
And knowledge of the land.
To the table.
Yeah, together they form a formidable force.
Against the encroaching darkness.
Yes.
This is getting good. I can already tell this is going to be an epic journey. full of magic, danger, and probably some unexpected twists.
Oh, there are definitely twists ahead, but
Good.
we'll have to save those for the next part of our deep dive. Welcome back to our deep dive into The Last Enchanter.
Where we left off, Elara and Kale had just discovered an ancient scroll
Right, confirming the prophecy.
and revealing the locations of the hidden relics.
And they're about to embark on a journey that will test not only their skills, but also their bond.
I'm curious about these relics. What are they like? What powers do they possess?
Well, each relic is unique, tied to a specific element of Eldoria's magic.
Okay.
The first one they seek is the Amulet of Light, said to be hidden in this mystical cave.
A mystical cave. That sounds like the perfect setting for a classic fantasy challenge.
It is, but it's not just about, fighting monsters or navigating tunnels.
Right.
Felix Northwood, he cleverly incorporates puzzles and riddles
Oh, I love that.
that force Elara and Kale to work together.
It's not just about brute force.
No.
They have to use their intelligence, combine their strengths
Exactly.
to overcome the obstacles.
And there's one puzzle in particular involving all these intricate gears and levers.
Ooh, tell me more.
It reveals a lot about their characters.
What do we learn?
Well, Elara, with her intuitive understanding of magic, she's able to sense the flow of energy.
Within the puzzle.
Yeah, within the mechanism.
Mhm.
But she struggles with the physical manipulation of the gears. Kale, on the other hand, strong, adept at solving mechanical problems, but lacks Alara's magical insight.
So they need each other
They do.
to succeed
Their differences actually make them stronger.
as a team.
Precisely, and this theme of interdependence, it continues throughout their journey.
Give me an example.
They face a myriad of challenges,
Yeah.
each one designed to push them to their limits and force them to rely on each other.
You mentioned earlier there's a betrayal.
Oh, right.
This is where my trust issues start to kick in.
I hear you.
Who betrays them and why?
It's a character named Thorn.
Okay.
A skilled tracker initially joins their group.
Thorn. I have to admit, I was a little suspicious of him from the start.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
Felix Northwood, he drops these subtle hints, Thorn's true nature, throughout the story.
Like what?
He's often whispering to himself.
Uh-oh.
His hands tremble at odd moments.
It's those little details
Yes.
that can make a character feel real.
Multidimensional.
Yeah.
And eventually, Elara overhears Thorn communicating with the Dark Mage.
Who's been plaguing Eldoria.
Right.
So he's a traitor.
The revelation is a blow to the group,
Especially Elara,
especially Elara, yeah.
who believes she could trust him.
Betrayal always stings.
Especially when you've been through so much together.
It does.
How does the group handle it?
Well, their initial reaction is anger, hurt.
Yeah.
They confront Thorn.
Demand an explanation.
And it's here we see a more vulnerable side to him.
Oh. He's not just a heartless traitor.
There's more to his story.
What is it?
He reveals that he was coerced.
Into betraying them.
The Dark Mage threatened his family.
Oh, no.
He felt he had no choice.
That's a tough position to be in.
It is.
Do they forgive him?
Not immediately.
Right.
They're wary, but they give him a chance to prove his loyalty.
How does he do that?
He does. There's this scene where they're navigating a treacherous mountain pass.
Uh,
Thorn, he risks his life to protect the group from these terrifying creatures. And his act of selflessness, it begins to mend the broken trust.
Redemption arcs are my weakness.
I know what you mean.
I love seeing a character wrestle with their mistakes.
Yeah.
And ultimately choose to do the right thing.
And Felix Northwood handles Thorn's redemption beautifully.
It feels earned.
It feels earned, not forced.
Yeah.
It reminds us that even those who make mistakes
Can find their way back.
to the light.
So the group is back on track.
They are.
Their bond, perhaps even stronger after facing this challenge.
Yeah.
What happens next in their quest for the relics?
While their journey takes them to some truly breathtaking locations,
Yeah.
one that stands out is the Enchanted Forest.
Ooh, an enchanted forest.
A place that's both magical and menacing.
I could already picture towering trees,
Yes.
whispering leaves,
Uh-huh.
mystical creatures lurking in the shadows.
You're not far off.
Really?
Felix Northwood describes this forest in vivid detail.
Like.
The trees are ancient, their branches intertwining, forming a canopy so thick that sunlight barely penetrates. The
Ah,
air hums with this subtle energy.
it sounds magical.
And there's a sense that the forest itself is alive,
It sounds like a place straight out of a fairy tale.
but with an undercurrent of danger.
Exactly.
And within this forest, they encounter a hidden village
Oh,
of elves.
elves, that's a classic fantasy element.
It is.
What role do they play in the story?
Well, they're more than just a whimsical addition.
Oh.
They represent the fading beauty and magic of Eldoria.
I see.
Their village is hidden, protected by ancient enchantments, but even they are not immune to the darkness.
That's spreading across the land.
Yeah,
It sounds like their struggle mirrors the larger conflict.
of the story.
Yeah.
They're a microcosm of Eldoria itself.
And their encounter with the elves highlights another key theme,
What's that?
the importance of unity and cooperation
Yes.
in the face of adversity.
Absolutely. And as Alara and Kale continue their journey, they face even greater challenges. Their bonds are tested.
And the fate of Eldoria hangs in the balance.
It does.
This sounds like an epic adventure.
It is.
If you're ready to experience the magic, the danger, and the ultimate triumph of Alara's quest, grab your copy of The Last Enchanter today.
It's available now on Amazon Kindle. We'll be sure to include a link in the show notes.
And stay tuned for part 3, where we'll delve into the thrilling climax,
Yeah.
the final confrontation with the Dark Mage.
And the ultimate fate of Eldoria.
Welcome back to our deep dive into The Last Enchanter.
Where we left off, Alara and Kale had just faced incredible challenges.
Yeah, they forged alliances, they gathered the ancient relics.
Needed to restore magic to their dying world.
It's been a wild ride. I'm on the edge of my seat wondering what happens next. Do they confront the Dark Mage?
They do, but it's not a straightforward battle.
What do you mean?
They have to infiltrate his stronghold, the Dark Fortress.
The Dark Fortress. Just the name sends chills down my spine. What's it like?
Imagine a towering fortress built from black stone.
Hmm.
Its walls pulsing with this sinister energy. Surrounded by a desolate landscape, ravaged by the Dark Mage's magic.
It sounds terrifying.
Every detail, from the twisting corridors to the shadowy figures that guard it,
Yeah.
creates this palpable sense of dread.
How do they even get inside?
Well, they can't just storm the gates. That would be suicide.
Right.
Instead, they use a combination of stealth, Alara's magic, and Eldrin's knowledge of ancient enchantments
Two.
to weaken the fortress's defenses.
I bet that's a nail-biting sequence.
It is, full of suspense and narrow escapes.
Sneaking through the shadows, disarming magical traps, hearts pounding with every step.
And even once they're inside,
Yeah.
the challenges keep coming.
Oh no.
The Dark Fortress is a labyrinth.
Designed to.
Tests their resolve at every turn.
Give you some examples.
Pressure plates, swinging blades, hidden chambers. It's like an epic dungeon crawl.
But with much higher stakes.
Much higher.
And all of this leads up to the final showdown with Malachar.
It does.
What's that like?
It's a breathtaking battle. You can feel the weight of everything they've been through, all the sacrifices they've made as they face down Malachar in his own chamber
It's a true clash.
of light versus darkness.
With each member of the group using their unique abilities.
To fight for the fate of Eldoria.
This is the part where I'd be holding my breath,
Yeah.
completely engrossed in the story.
Is it a clear-cut victory?
Yeah. Does it come at a cost?
Well, I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay.
But let's just say that victory is rarely without sacrifice.
Hmm.
The battle is intense.
Yeah.
And the aftermath is both bittersweet and hopeful.
Ooh, that's all you need to say.
You'll have to read it for yourself.
To experience it firsthand.
What makes The Last Enchanter so compelling is that Felix Northwood takes the time to show us the aftermath of the battle, the rebuilding, the healing that needs to happen.
That's refreshing.
So many fantasy stories, they just end with the defeat of the villain.
And a quick happily ever after. But real life is more complicated than that. So what happens to Alara and her companions after they escape the Dark Fortress?
They return to Eldenwood, expecting a hero's welcome. They find the village in ruins.
Oh, wow.
The Dark Mage's influence, it had spread even to their peaceful home.
That's heartbreaking.
The sight of their ravaged village, it's a harsh reminder of the cost of victory.
So what do?
They do what heroes do.
What's that?
They roll up their sleeves and they start rebuilding.
Rebuilding their homes?
Working alongside the villagers, repairing homes, clearing debris, planting new crops.
It sounds like a slow process.
It is, but it's also incredibly cathartic.
Cathartic how?
It allows them to channel their grief and trauma into something positive.
Something tangible.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be healing. It's a way to reclaim their home.
Not just physically, but emotionally.
And what about the magic? Does it return to Eldoria?
It does. As the Dark Mage's influence fades, the magic starts to flow back into the land.
That's great.
Flowers bloom, animals thrive.
The very air seems to vibrate.
With a renewed energy.
It sounds like a powerful symbol.
It is, of how good can triumph over evil.
And how
Life always finds a way.
What happens to Alara? Does she become a queen or a ruler now that she's saved the world?
That's what's so wonderful about The Last Enchanter. Felix Northwood avoids those typical power fantasy tropes.
Oh.
Alara doesn't seek glory or authority.
What does she do?
She's content to stay in Eldenwood.
Doing what?
Helping her people, teaching the younger generation about magic.
Protecting her home.
She's a true hero.
Humble and selfless.
The book ends on a note of optimism, since that while challenges will always arise, there's always hope.
That's a great message.
The villagers are rebuilding their lives. Young apprentices are eager to learn magic.
And Alara.
Alara finds peace and fulfillment.
In her role as mentor and protector.
It's a beautiful and satisfying conclusion
to a truly epic journey.
If you haven't already, I highly recommend picking up a copy of The Last Enchanter by Felix Northwood. It's a tale of magic, adventure, and the enduring power of hope.
And you can find it
right now on Amazon Kindle.
We'll be sure to include a link in the show notes.
Well, that concludes our deep dive into this fantastic new novel.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired to go on a quest of my own.
Perhaps not a literal quest.
Right.
But a quest for knowledge, for connection, for those moments of magic that can be found in everyday life.
Beautifully said. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating exploration of knowledge and ideas. Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep the magic alive. Thank you for listening to the Deep Dive Podcast.